Hey guys, welcome back to the next video. Now, continuing from the last video, we're going to look at two new features, which is something I want to share with you before we go ahead and close this config map. The first thing I want to discuss with you is about in terms of working with your config map. When you're using volumes, we have already seen this on when we're using the env from. So when we actually use this, let me show you. When we actually use this config map reference, we were able to see that whatever the change you do over here was not dynamic. Well, you have to restart your pod or recreate your pod, in which ways that it's going to take the new configuration. But until you recreate this pod, you'll not be able to get the configuration update done for here, and those updates will not be done. So now what I'm going to show you is that I'm going to show you a way in terms of updating this information, how it's going to reflect in terms of your volume, because we use volume to mount the config map rather than the env. So we have this my version mounted through as a volume. So we're going to see that right now. So before we go ahead, let's just do exec. Go to where temp and check the current configuration on the sh file. You can see that it says getting MySQL version. So this is what we are looking for. So this is the default stuff it is showing you. So now just go ahead and go control edit and then my version. And when you edit this my version, here you give new over here and then save and quit the file. So now you have changed the configuration at the at this level of your your my version config map. You have changed it. Now what's going to happen is that when you log in back to your exec, if you go to where temp, then cat the script file, MySQL version script, you can see the old item only, but give it like a couple of minutes for it to replicate the change. After replicating the change, you can see that it has gone to new version. So it just takes about 2 minutes for the replication. So this proves that the dynamic, settings and modification happens when you do a version-based config map. So whatever you modify as part of this particular config map, it's gonna pick up in 2 minutes. So you just have to give it enough time for it to replicate. So do remember about it. The next thing which we're going to see is that we are going to create a immutable configuration on your myconfig. So right now, when you want to edit this myconfig, you can use kubectl edit, and then you can use myconfig. So, and then you can change the values here. Like for example, here I'm changing it to 2. So that's allowing me to edit this configuration. So now how to create an immutable configuration? Immutable as in like it's not something which you can edit. So let's delete this myconfig first. And then let's open the one which is your config map.yaml file. So this is where we configured my config YAML file, right? So here is the YAML file. You can go to the end of the YAML file, and all you have to do is like create a new line, go to the starting of the tags, and then go saying immutable : true. Now all you have to do is enable it. By default it is disabled, so which means that you can update or edit the YAML file. Edit the my config map when you deploy this. So now let's just deploy the scope. Control apply -F. You can see that that's created. So now when I'm trying to edit this one, so I'm just going back on the history. Now I'm just going to edit this to 2 and then save and quit the file. It's not saving and quitting, so it's not saving. So quite obvious. So you can see that error, edit cancel, no valid changes were saved. So this means that you actually cannot edit this item. So if you just do kubectl describe, remove this config, you can see that the MySQL root password is still db1 only. So this enables you to create an immutable configuration, and that enables that makes sure that you cannot actually edit this configuration. The only way you can edit this configuration is by removing this myconfig and then reapplying it again. Thank you again for watching this video. I'll see you on the next video, but do leave your comments and reviews on the review section and your questions on the question section. Thank you again. I'll see you on the next one.